Yeah, I want to talk about carbs and sugar. I'll just take two examples, bread and cube of sugar. We have been very much derailed by the dogma, or I call it an old system of nutrition where we were trained or taught that cube of sugar is very dangerous and is the main source of diabetes 2 to be precise. But I'll tell you that if you look up the GI index, that's the glycemic index, the GI table, which is a table that indicates the food that will be absorbed, sugar will be absorbed from it faster into the blood system of animals or man, to be precise. If we look at that table, we see that bread or carbohydrates are at the higher level compared to sugar. Sugar is just approximately 63 at the GI table. But go to see bread, see corn, see flour. They are above 70 to 80 within the glycemic index. That means sugar will cause you less harm within your system than bread, because you need a combination of many sugars or more sugar to obtain starch or to form a carbohydrate. So we should try to understand that there are certain foods that are super rich in carbohydrates or in carbs. We don't need to merge this food. We don't need to eat these foods together. For instance, how do you explain when you take bread? Bread is made with wheat that is high in the glycemic index more than cube of sugar. And the bread that is made with that wheat flour, they put cubes of sugar inside. That's already two different kinds of sugar. You have a sucrose there, and you also have a starch, which is carbohydrate in bread alone. You take bread, you break it, you put spaghetti inside, which is also starch that is rich in carbohydrates. So when you eat such foods, bread, spaghetti, a cube of sugar, and probably a cup of tea beside you, you say you are eating food, tomorrow you are diabetic, you call the Satan the devil. No, it does not exist that way. You are the architect of your health challenges. And we should know that it's not the moment you take the cup of tea you are supposed to have sugar crisis. The sugar crisis will come over time, because with the consumption of this sugar, your pancreas will be secreting insulin to struggle to regulate the sugar. But there will be a time where you suffer from what we call insulin resistance. That's when we say you are pre-diabetic. It takes a duration of time. After this stage has come, the next thing you experience now is the diabetes itself, where diabetes 2 will come in play. So we should know that we should eat carbs. We are not restricting particular diet, but you don't eat rich carbs or rich carbohydrate diet later in the day, because the main source of sugar, the main purpose of sugar in your body is for fuel. It gives you energy to carry out your activity. Gone are the days you take breakfast, let's say bread, tea, puff, pap, and pap is not food, it's poison, because it's a combination of four sugars. If you analyze it, puff is flour, and in the puff they put cubes of sugar. Pap is corn that is starch. In the corn, the pap, they put cubes of sugar. That's four sugars. You eat puff or bread with beans. You eat akara beans with pap. How do you explain if you eat corn fufu corn, and you take beer to step down? How do you explain when you eat achu, kati, all those kind of foods rich in carbohydrates, and you step down with beer or palm wine? How do you eat corn fufu and you take what they call corn beer or sha and drink? So we should cut down our carbs. You are not supposed to stay away from those entirely if you are not able to. But if you are able, at least stay away from starchy or white foods after 4. Because the more white the food, the more whiter the food, the more starch it contains when it comes to plant foods. So we should not always feel that you go and eat bread and spaghetti, you will not have sugar problems, but you take cubes of sugar, you have problems. It's like those who are running from top to drink beer. Beer has more sugar than top because it's more starchy. Though fermentation has taken place, there is some degree of alcohol. The procedure of the brewing of the beer varies with the brand. So there are some beer that have more sugar. So we should know that the cube of sugar is less in the lower within the glycemic index, and we should be cautious about consuming carbohydrates, especially during the later hours of the day. It's very bad or dangerous for those who eat heavy starchy foods by 5 p.m., 6, 7, 8 p.m. That should be eaten in the morning. If you want to go your tips aspect, you do that in the evening. And you should take note that if you are a human being above 4 years old, the milk you are rushing for that tea is not even necessary for your system to an extent because you don't digest milk after the age of 4 as a human being. So we should be conscious, let's not deviate, but know that sugar is less dangerous than carbohydrates when it's especially when you consume it late or you combine it wrongly.